amekuja sasa kwenu, amebeba pesa zenu.
Kwanza nyinyi mnatuharibia wakati.
Hiya guys, back to our YouTube channel. Thanks for your great support. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi. Nasema karibuni tena, niendelee kupakulia jinsi ambavyo mambo yamechemka. Mambo yamechemka. Raila Odinga ameanza kugeuka William Samoei Arap Ruto.
Pesa ambayo ameiba anarudi naye sasa hapa pale kutafuta sifa.
Nilikuambia guys, Raila Odinga amekuwa kimark time President William Ruto. And now, jana nimeona hii story ya MOU imekuwa released. Statement on the establishment of 5-member committee to oversee the implementation of the 10 points agenda and the NADCO report. Na kwa hii statement guys, nataka nikusomee tu last paragraph ya hii statement. Inasema hivi: a final comprehension will be released to the public on March 7, 2026, making the 1-year anniversary of its signing. Unaona watu wangu? So Raila Odinga, hiyo ndo wakati atakuwa na exit William Samoei Arap Ruto. Believe me now. Next year mwezi wa 3 tarehe 7 mwaka 2026 Raila Odinga atakuwa na exit. Juu hiyo ndo siku atakuja kuambia William Ruto, no, kwa hizi 10 points ambazo tuliagree tukaziandika chini haukuweza kutimiza. Unaona watu, haukuweza kutimiza, umekuwa ukienda kinyume na zile points. That's why uliona Edwin Sifuna akisema nini? Sitaweza kuread statement ambayo Raila Odinga atakuwa na support William Ruto in 2027 again.
I will read all the resolutions that are made by organs of ODM except one. Which one? Wanataka ODM wakipitisha waseme Sifuna ni shenzi kabisa, nitasoma. Wakisema huyu Sifuna ni bure kabisa, nitasoma. Lakini siku ile watapitisha ati chama cha ODM kitafunga Kasongo mkono mwaka wa 2027. Hiyo nataka niseme mbele yenu na mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Hiyo kusomi. Unanielewa? Hiyo itabidi watafute mtu mwingine ya kusoma mambo ya Kasongo. Nimesikia wakisema rafiki yangu Jared Okelo hapo tayari kusoma hiyo mambo. Ati yako na kizungu mingi kushinda Sifuna, ati anaongea ile ya mapua, alisoma Uingereza. Ndugu yangu Jared Okelo, kuwa tayari wakati wowote. Kama unataka kufanya kazi Sifuna anafanya, uko ukae tayari. Siku ile watasema yeye nenda na Kasongo. Hiyo mimi siko ndani.
And that's why umeona wameweka deadline itakuwa tarehe 7 mwezi wa 3. Watakuwa na release venye imekuwa ikifanya kazi. So now, hiyo hata sio story, tunataka tuangalie sasa. Tunataka tuangalie jinsi ambavyo hizi doors zimeonekana zikiwa withdrawn by the government ili ende kwa empowerment programs. And Raila Odinga ametense pia. Na Raila Odinga anatuambia nini? Kwamba yeye support hii mambo ya empowerment programs. Juu ni kuibia wa Kenya wanaibia. Na Raila Odinga amesahau guys ya kwamba hizi do ni wao tu. Ndio bado wanaendelea kufanya nini? Ndio wanaendelea kuzimiliki pale ndani. William Ruto akiwithdraw hizi do zinaendea Raila Odinga pia ili aendelee kusupport hii serikali. Na bahati mzuri guys, tuko na Rigathi Gachagua amekuwa ndani ya government ya William Ruto. You are going to be shocked. So guys, ensure me like video na nasema thanks for your great support. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi. Without wasting time, kitu ya kwanza, Edwin Sifuna anashambulia John Mbadi. Ameamua confronting John Mbadi. And John Mbadi imefikia mahali ambapo amekuja kurealize kwamba hii kazi imekuwa ngumu. Unaona watu wangu, imekuwa ngumu na mimi ndio naendelea kubeba nini? Problems. Juu William Ruto hili ndio ilikuwa game yake. Kwamba Raila Odinga anang'ang'ana kuingia ndani ya hii government. Acha ni muingize na nimpatie close ally wake awe kama national treasurer ambaye ni John Mbadi, akachukua hiyo position. So sasa hizi mambo yameelemea huyu jamaa. Unaona juzi last week alisema kwamba hatuna do. Juu alikuwa ashaona hakuna do ya kufund education sector. And William Ruto akaja responding. So kumaanisha Raila Amolo Odinga's close allies wanasukumiwa mitego. Wanasukumiwa nini? Game wacheze. ili waonekane wao ndio wameharibu hii serikali ya William Ruto. So now, kabla tuangalie Edwin Sifuna wanakwaruzana na John Mbadi pale kwa Senate, wakati ambapo wanafanya auditing, kitu ya kwanza Rigathi Gachagua anajaribu kuexpose hii story ya e-Citizen. Na ni mapema, si hata saa hii, ni kitambo sana. Rigathi Gachagua aliexpose hadi saa hizi utakuja kuona ya kwamba imetimika. Sikiza.
Was that e-Citizen is in private hands. After some time, shares exchanged hands, and the president ordered that all government services be onboarded. He stopped talking about the private people. 70% of e-Citizen is owned by private people. Your guess is as good as mine. Ask Adil, he'll tell you who are the owners of e-Citizen, who is the owner of Lisa. Today, they
they're the ones benefiting from that 50 shillings.
That 50, any time you use e-Citizen, the Madrins at State House have your money. This government is a money-making machine. And there is no national interest. There is no concern for the people of Kenya. And we may reach a point we may ask the people not to pay taxes.
Unaona guys, ndio nawaambia kwamba Rigathi Gachagua is a truthful man. And chochote Rigathi Gachagua anatuambia saizi inakuwa tu ukweli peke yake. Hizi doza za e-Citizen William Ruto anaendelea kuzitoa saizi. Anaendelea kupeana eti wa mama. So mtu kama Kindiki apewe, Kimani Chungwa apewe, Osoro apewe, Didmas Barasa apewe, Faruki Beta apewe, Mary Masa apewe, au ni close allies wa William Ruto wapewe hizi do. Kila mtu aende kwa constituency yake aanze kupeana. So ukipewa kama 10 million. Unaona watu wangu, na wewe useme kwamba watu wamekuwa wengi ushapeana hizo, tena upewe zingine. Si unaona venye hao watu wana loot do. That's why unaona Rigathi Gachagua anatuambia hizi siri zote. So now tunataka tuangalie pale kwa parliament, pale kwa Senate jinsi ambavyo mambo yamechemuka. Yesterday kwanza utakuja kurealize kwamba Raila Odinga's close allies pale kwa parliament walisema kwamba wao hawasupport hii mambo ya empowerment. Hii ni mambo ya haramu zaidi. Sikiza.
To be national government that is managed through national government administrative structures. And that is why yesterday we had this problem where the National Assembly has come up with a parallel bill on the equalization fund because they still think that that money is theirs, that money is for their control, but we allowed it to happen, Madam Speaker. I wish Senator Faki was here. He would have told us that he promised this House that let us pass these regulations to allow access to the fund because the fund had not been drawn for a long time for lack of regulations. And he promised, and he told us here that the government had promised that we're going to bring amendments. To date, I do not think the amendments that have been brought. And so that is why we must annul these regulations so that no one promises us that they'll be amended. They will never be amended out of experience. Madam Speaker, let me finalize by calling upon my colleagues that whatever we are doing here in this House is our primary responsibility as elected leaders. Madam Speaker, a poll was conducted in the United Kingdom to find out what the public expects of members of parliament. Lawmaking was like the last priority or the last expectation. If a similar poll was to be conducted here in Kenya, Madam Speaker, I can tell you that the people we represent, their expectation of a member of parliament, including senator and member of National Assembly, expectation number one is to build classrooms. Expectation number two, to issue bursaries. Number three, to attend funerals. Number four, to issue handouts without fail. Number five is to attend rallies where you can insult imaginary and real enemies. And number 5, 6 could be issuance of statements. Lawmaking is the least glamorous and is the least considered job of a member here. Madam Speaker, I see and I admire even the new members of this parliament. Senator Sifuna joined in this 13th parliament. He is here not just because he's a whip, but he believes that the core mandate, the critical duty of a legislator is to legislate, not empowerment rallies, even though I saw him doing an empowerment one the other day. But it is not the money that caught my attention. It was the conversation that caught my attention. But that's a story for another day. But he knows that being in this house is the reason why the people of Nairobi elected him. Madam Speaker, the senator from Nandi, he is in this house religiously, even though he's a bit of a noisy one, but he knows that that is the core mandate of a senator or a representative who has been brought here. Let me call upon my brothers and sisters who have been elected that at the end of the day, the funerals you contribute to, the handouts you give, they'll be like no one will remember them, Madam Speaker. Out of my experience, it is the last person to do a Harambee who is remembered. The Harambee you did in 2021, 2022, 2023, in 2026, your opponent will do a bigger Harambee. He'll come with Farouk to do a bigger Harambee. All your small Harambees will have been forgotten. But your record and active participation in Parliament will live on. Madam Speaker, today we went to do prayers for Phoebe Asio, and everyone reminds Phoebe Asio for the motion that she introduced in this House that called for gender equity, that called for opening up the space. People did not eulogize her because she did a Harambee somewhere and donated desks, or because she sorted out some boys in some center. People like Martin Shikuku are remembered for their speeches and statements in this House. People like George Anyona, it's not because of their donations. And so as we head into the weekend, and I know some of my colleagues are going to board choppers and are going for empowerment things, please, let us focus on policy, legislation, regulation that can provide a level playing field for all Kenyans to be able to access opportunities, for all Kenyans to get empowerment. The idea of donating 64 shillings to women groups or 1,000 shillings to women group is tokenism, is a handout culture. And Madam Speaker, the party that I subscribe to, the ODM party, has always been against using Harambee as a model for development, because Harambee fuels corruption. When someone whose salary at net is 150,000 is donating 5 million in 1 month, that is corruption looking at you straight in the eye. And Madam Speaker, we are not going to grow this country if we continue with this pretense of empowerment rallies and empowerment Harambees. That cannot be our model for development. Madam Speaker, I support, yes.
Senator Kajwang, do you want to be informed?
Cautiously, yes. Very cautiously.
Madam Speaker, I want to inform my chair, Park, and I like his eloquence, that the ODM Secretary General, Senator Sifuna, donated 1 million in Saboti, Amis. So does it mean, if he says they don't subscribe, does it mean there is that there should be clarity on what he say?
Senator Kajwang.
Madam Speaker, that is a frivolous point of information. My Secretary General declared the source of his contribution. He declared, including members of this House, and so he fully accounted for it. Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, I support the report of the committee.
Senator Seki.
To compel the county to come up with a clear plan that would then be, I think, addressed, control of budget. You've got a role in that, in making sure that there's a proper recovery plan. And sometimes that's what some of these counties need, because primary oversight has died across the counties. The county assemblies are completely incapable of holding their governors to account. When we bring the governors here, we are doing secondary oversight. We don't have an insight or input on their budgeting, on their procurement, on their spending, on their appointments. We are, what do you call those doctors who Johnson would work? Yeah, we are morticians. We are morticians. And yet the public will tell me in my county that you are not correcting the government of their misdeeds. And yet that is a primary responsibility of the county assembly. So that's the frustration that brings us to this thinking that there are some counties where we need to put under administration for 60 days. And I want to encourage you to apply your mind to it, because it is not necessarily killing devolution, but the corruption and the bad behaviors in county governments, some which are led by governors from the party that Senator Sifuna comes from, is an embarrassment.
Correct. Chair, in fact, that's the part of the provisions that I wanted to point the CS to. And the other attribute of a party that I come from is that we like to take bold action. CS, just for the sake of the frustration of the Senate, just give us one county. But you see, I'm also wondering how this will work, because you've also been accused as a ministry. They say that the National Treasury thinks that it is a treasury for the national government, that you prioritize national government. Can you tell us, for instance, sitting here today, whether you ever comply with the disbursement schedule that is passed by the Senate? What is the most current disbursement now? You see, Chair, that this particular mechanism would only work where the National Treasury is actually complying with what is it called, the disbursement schedule. So if you are telling governors you'll punish them for 2 months, and they are saying the last disbursement you have said is for which month are we? You know, because they'll tell you the last money they got is for May. Then how will this mechanism come in, CS? So personally, I just wanted to let you know that personally I'm very happy with the move to the accrual basis, because the CS knows that I'm also an accounting officer, I'm audited, and the Auditor General has been giving me grief because they see the money that the National Treasury owes my political party, and they don't want me to put it there. That the National Treasury owes me 11 billion Kenyan shillings as ODM. But I'm happy now. My finance manager, who's your friend, the Honorable Kawino, will have an easier time. It's the only query that the auditors raise, that we budget for money on the expectation of the law. On the expectation of the law. We have court orders from here to Timbuktu. But the National Treasury and Parliament have refused to comply with those court orders. So I'm happy that when we move to this new system of accounting, we will not get the grief that we usually get from the Auditor General. But that is the question you need to think about. If we do not comply with the disbursement schedule, then this mechanism cannot really help, because the governor will say that is the norm anyway. That is the norm anyway. So maybe you can think about that. But from our perspective as a Senate, we need that list of shame that he's talking about. We need that list of shame. So that people can know that there are mechanisms in the Constitution to be able to deal with these issues. Lastly, Honorable Chair, the National Treasury is also accused that in my county here in Nairobi, although we have the largest number of pending bills, the national government owes us a lot of money that you just refuse to pay the county. It is very difficult, Honorable Bombadi. You have cited 2 ways of killing devolution, but you've left the main one out. The main one is we need to properly fund our counties. National government institutions have refused to pay Nairobi County what is due and owing to the county government of Nairobi. If you paid us our money, we would be able to take care of those pending bills for as long as we have an administration that cares about the people of Nairobi. So maybe think about those, Waziri, as well.
So you, in accordance with this transition, it means that in this financial year, you'll be reflecting financial assets as ODM of 11 billion.
Correct.
And this treasury will have to pay.
They will have to pay. You know, Chair, in fact, I want the CS to know that I am going to initiate recovery proceedings. So if you see me obtaining orders for your detention, don't think it is political. I just need that money, and you know why I need that money.
It will be entirely professional and technical.
Correct.
CS, I think the first part was how timely are we? Because if you're holding disbursements for 60 days, then you can only do that in a regime where you are timely in your disbursements.
Thank you. Chair, I will address this, but allow me to start with what my Secretary General says about my possible detention. And just also to own up and say that if there's one thing that I pushed with the finger, probably even harder than the SG when I was his chairman for 10 years, was allocating the resources that are statutory provided for political parties. And that, up to now, is something that is not happening, largely because of financial challenges. But the money owed to any political party will now be a clear debt recognized in books. And so it will no longer be an audit query. And we will do whatever we can to try to make sure that money goes to political parties, because our constitution makes Kenya a multi-party democracy, and political parties' position in our democratic space cannot be overemphasized. And as someone who has been in party leadership for all that time, it is something that I would not shy away from repeating, that we must try to work on. So I hope, my Secretary General, you will not implement your, is it a threat? But I would understand.
As long as it's done through the proper justice and legal systems, because I know he has a group of goons that can detain you at short notice.
No, the advantage I have is over 90% of those goons are my friends.
You are completely out of order for...
Yeah, but
Chair.
Now, can I then proceed and address these other issues? Because I think
okay.
There are other issues that were raised. Then I could address them quickly. On the issue of disbursement, Chair, I cannot sit here and misreport that government has been timely and effective in releasing funds to counties, just like other government departments have been affected sometimes with the cash crunch, so counties have been. And I will tell you that at times counties get even better favorable treatment from the National Treasury than other MDAs and other spending units of government. And that is also because the county government is a bit unique in the way they are structured, because if you don't give them money, you are like shutting their doors and closing them completely. So a lot of efforts have to be made. But I would also pride myself here and give and say that this government has been very responsive in terms of addressing the cash challenges to counties. Why do I say so? I remember last year, last financial year, apart from the arrears that were carried forward from 2023 to 2024, 2023, 2024, there was carryover to July 2024, which is 2024-2025, the year that just ended. There was a carryover of about 31 billion. That's the amount that was paid in July. After that, it almost took us to October to again give money to counties because of the division of revenue and county allocation of revenue bill, which delayed. And this has been the practice, Chair. And there is no single year for a very long time when the government of Kenya, national government, has, through the National Treasury, has transferred full allocation for the year to the counties. But I must be with confidence and happiness, I would say that 2024-2025 was a different year. That by 30th of June 2025, we not only transferred all the allocations for 2024-25 to the counties by 26th of June, but that even the arrears for 2023-24 was paid of 31 billion in that year. So we paid all the 387 billion allocation plus the arrears that were carried forward. Now, that was done. In fact, the May transfer was done on 19th of June, and the June transfer, the June 2025 allocation was transferred on 26th of June. Now, even though we don't still have County Allocation of Revenue Act in place, which I think National Assembly, I don't know whether they passed it yesterday or they're passing it today.
I think we have processed Kara.
The Senate has done with it. Is done with it.
Because the beauty is that this year DORA was approved on 30th of June, so there was no delay on DORA, but on Kara.
Kara is in the National Assembly.
The
Senate, I'm aware. Actually, I think they indicated yesterday. I listened to National Assembly. They said they will pass it today, I think. Now, DORA, again, was passed quickly, Chair, and you'll agree now I can disclose that we had an engagement. The Senate leadership, National Assembly, and the Treasury. And we agreed that there is no need to fight. I mean, we are serving the same people. And when a proposal was put to the National Treasury to increase by 10 billion, I accepted on behalf of the National Treasury in consultation with the government. And so we quickly agreed, and in a record, for so many years now, we haven't had division of revenue bill being assented to before 30th of June. Now, this year, so I was saying, even without Kara, I've already given instruction to my team. On Monday, latest Tuesday next week, we are going to transfer the July allocation to counties in full to all the 47 counties. And so then we will now remain with August, which we are still in August today. But I want to commit here for the people of Kenya.
Senator Sifuna, what are you whispering?
I'm saying now, that sounds like us.
Us who?
As ODM.
That's a very rare compliment, so that's why I wanted it to
I'm happy we are gradually moving towards, with my SG, towards him understanding what the expert they sent to the Treasury has been able to achieve. I think he has taken a bit of time really to appreciate this, but he's appreciating it, and I thank him. Now, so I want to commit here to the people of Kenya that the July allocation to counties, all the 47, will go latest Tuesday next week. And Chair, by the way, last financial year, we even cleared transfers to CDF in full, including the arrears of 13 billion from the previous year. Finally, even the pensions, even for women reps or the GAF was transferred in full, including the pension claims that came to Treasury, we processed and cleared. Now, on the issue of list of shame, I take note. I think I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to engage our minds more as Treasury on application of 225 of the Constitution, Article 225 of the Constitution, on how to deal with some of these counties which have persistently refused to follow the law in financial management. Finally, on Nairobi County, I want to agree. I think we must now. Unfortunately, Senator Sifuna, through the chair, I've tried to engage. You know, we did commission from the report of the Senate, your sister committee, chaired by Honorable Sotsi. We constituted a team that looked into this, especially pending bills relating to pension schemes. And Nairobi County is a big culprit at over 100 billion owed. And Mombasa County is at 28 billion. The others are about $1 billion or less, but not to say that they also don't owe money. Now, I've tried to engage. We've sat with Mombasa County, and I wanted also to meet Nairobi County. Somehow it has been difficult. The governor sent his officers, but I thought if I have to engage, I need to engage with the governor because the buck stops with him. So once we get this engagement, we are going to agree. In fact, there are a lot of proposals. I don't know whether this report has come to the Senate, but it will come if it has not come. There are a lot of proposals how to deal with these amounts owing. The national government is owing, the counties is owing the national government. We need to find a way of settling them in a way that both parties benefit.
Yes, just confirm, the report is already ready on those proposals of dealing with those pending bills. Is the report ready? Or I heard you...
The report is actually has been submitted to me.
Oh, okay.
Yes, then, the report of the committee, and which will find its way to the Senate if it has not. Okay. I'll just work with my team. It's a very comprehensive report. They did a good job. Mm-hmm. And so we need to tie it up. So first I'll meet with the Nairobi County because it's the biggest culprit here. We engage and see how the national government can make good what we owe the counties and vice versa, so that this problem does not persist. So that is what I would say, not to deny that national government is also not only, we owe the money. You see what happened also between the Kenya Power and Lighting with Nairobi County. We don't want such kind of scenes to happen in a country where we pride ourselves as civilized as Kenya. So I think those are the issues that were raised, Chair.
Oh, okay, just to allow us to prosecute the last question, Senator Dulo, Senator Cherargei, your final comments on this, then we go to the next.
Chair, let me say that it's good that CS is here so that we can share our frustration as a Senate with you. Sometimes you don't sit where we sit, and there are a lot of challenges in the counties. And I think maybe you need to look at Article 225 and see how you can operate.